Chisda was young, which means he's the older one, or the opposite. Mar Kashisha, he got the name because he was older, and it's exactly the opposite. Okay, whatever the case is, he says to Abaya, Reb Meir, Haikrod Rabbi Yehuda Mayavadlei. You see, Rabbi Yehuda brought this pasuk that said that on that day in Egypt there'll be an altar for God. And according to Reb Meir, it was an Avodah Zarah. So how does he have the verse in Isaiah 19 that Rabbi Yehuda is quoting? What does Reb Meir do with that? He doesn't have any altar for God in Egypt. So he needs it for, as it was taught in the Bais, after Sancherev lost the battle, Sancherev comes to attack Jerusalem, and he looks over the hills, and he tells his men, he looks at Jerusalem, he says, oh, this is going to be a cinch, we can do this tomorrow. And he has his men take a nap that night, and the next day, in the morning, there were 185,000 soldiers dead. Some Malach Hashem came in the middle of the night and smote all the soldiers. And the Gemara in Sanhedrin says, Baz Dina Batal Dina. You never push off a good thing. Well, in his case, and from his perspective, if you push it off, it becomes nullified.
Wow.
Actually, it would be when a negative thing gets pushed off. From our perspective, when a negative thing gets pushed off, it gets nullified. If anyone has a case that gets postponed, that's like, oh, okay, maybe it could. First postponement, you never know where this could lead to. So Chizkiah then goes outside the wall, and over there, there's just whoever's left. Yatzah Chizkiah Matzah B'nei Malachim. You have these princes, Shayoshim Bekranis Shalzav, that are still sitting in their golden chariots, and Hidiran Shalei Lavaid Vedas Kechavim. These are like prisoners of war. He makes them vow that they're not going to worship idols. Shenemar, as it says, Bayemahu, it's actually the verse right next to in chapter 19. It says, on that day, there'll be 5 cities in the land of Egypt. Midabri Svas Canaan, speaking in the language of Canaan. Nishbois La Hashem Tzavakis, and they're swearing in the name of Hashem. Which he's saying that this is referring to these princes that Chizkiah found. He forces them to serve Hashem, and they went back to Egypt and they built these things there. But it wasn't Chanya who did this. Okay, so Rabbi Meir has a way of interpreting this verse, that it's not referring to Chanya, it's referring to these princes that Chizkiah forces to serve Hashem. Ir heheres yomel achas. One city will be called the destroyed city. This is a continuation of this verse. We quoted this pasuk in Isaiah 19, so we continue translating this pasuk. My ir heheres yomel achas. What does it mean? A destroyed city will be, one of them will be called. It's the city of Beis Shemesh, which in the future will be destroyed. I don't know what Beis Shemesh is referring to. There must have been a city somewhere in Egypt or something. I don't know what the commentaries say. There's no commentaries here that discuss it. Okay. Itmar dehi chad min hain. And it says that this was one of those cities. This is one of the cities that will be destroyed. Okay, and it says Mimai de ir heheres lishna de shimshi. We just translated that ir heheres, which means destroyed, is Beis Shemesh. It's maybe rhymes, but how do you know that? It says, how do you know that it's referring to Beis Shemesh? It says the Ksiv ha'imar lacheres v'layizrach, who tells to the sun in Eily. We have all of the Hebrew in Eily is very difficult Hebrew. They have all of these words that we don't find in other places. But over there, the word heres, or cheres there actually, is referring to the sun. Cheres, which usually means like clay, it refers to the sun. So we're saying ir haheres, because hey and ches can be switched. So ir haheres is going to be referred to Bais Shemesh, the city of the sun. Okay, Hiviu bana mirachak ubnaisim k'tearetz. We quote another verse from Yeshaya that bring to me my sons from the distance and my daughters from the edge of the earth. Who's my sons from the distance? These are the exiles of Babylonia, that their mind is at ease, like sons, like carefree and not stressed. What about my daughters from the edge of the earth? Who's that referring to? These are the exiles of the other lands, that their mind is not at ease like daughters. I'm not familiar with this imagery here, but apparently sons are more relaxed than daughters. They're more okay. Amar Rab Abba bar Yitzchak Amar Rav Chisda v'Amri la Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Rav. The idea that the Gemara was referring to is that in Bavel they had a more luxurious life than the other exiles, and the other exiles was more stress. So Rab Abba says it in the name of Rav Chisda, or Rav Yehuda says in the name of Rav, which is even earlier. Mitzur v'yard Kartagini makir nes Yisrael v'saviyim shebashamayim. From Tzur, which is Tyre, until Kartagini, with this Carthage.
Cartagena.
Africa.
It's North Africa, right? And when were the wars? Carthage with
Rome.
With Rome, there was these big wars. Who led the Hannibal was the
elephant.
The elephants. That was from Carthage, right? Over the Alp. So he says from Tzur to Carthage, Makir nes Yisrael v'sabiyim shebashamayim. They recognize the Jewish people and they also recognize God. Mitzur, because they're familiar with the Jewish people. Mitzur, but what it means is they're familiar with the Jewish people in their good times. So even now they're in exile, they still have that acknowledgement. However, Mitzur klapi Mayrav, when you go from Tyre and you go west, Kartagini klapi Mizrach, and you go east of Carthage, they don't recognize the Jewish people. They don't recognize the Father in heaven. Eisvei Reb Simi Barchia l'Rav. Reb Chimi Barchia asks Rav, Mizrach Shemesh Advaya Gadol Shmi Bagayim B'chol Makam Mukter Umugash L'Shmi Mincha Torah. Reb Simi asks Rav, he says, what are you saying? It says from the east, from the sign of the shining of the sun until it sets, from the east to the west, my name is great by the nations in all places. They're going to sacrifice and offer to my name in a pure mincha. What are you saying, that they don't recognize God from the east of Tyre and to the west of Carthage? Amalem Simiat. Rav says, are you Simi? Now, possibly Rav never looked out of his, never looked up because of how pure he was. So, or he was just saying this in a way that, like in surprise, like Simi, I'm surprised at you. The Karole Alakaya. They don't accept God's that God is in control. They say that this is the God of the gods, but we're run by gods. But that's the God emeritus, that he's given it up to the lower gods. Okay, that's the explanation. In all places they'll sacrifice to my name. And they're going to sacrifice in all places. You can't sacrifice and make offerings in all places. Rab Shmuel bar Nachmani, Rabbi Yonasan. Rab Shmuel bar Nachmani says the name of Rabbi Yonasan. These are always very agadic sayings and interpretations of verses. That group, that pair, Rab Shmuel bar Nachmani, the name of Rabbi Yonasan. It's always Eily Talmidei Chacham. These are the Torah scholars. They toil in Torah b'chol makom, in all places. And I consider it as if they have offered sacrifices. wherever the scholars are wherever place they are. So it's as if they brought sacrifices to my name. Mincha Torah. What is a mincha Torah? Zel Laim Torah B'Tara. This is someone that studies Torah in purity. We're missing some of our group here. This is important. First you get married, and then you study Torah. That's to study Torah with purity. Once someone's married. Shir Amalis Baruch Hashem Kol Avdei Hashem Haim Neves Hashem Baleilos. This is a song of ascents. Behold, bless Hashem, all those that serve Hashem, that stand in the house of God by night. My Baleilos. What does it mean by night? Rabbi Yochanan tell me, Elu Talmid Chachamim Ma'iskim B'Torah Balayla. These are the Torah scholars that toil in the Torah at night, or while it's dark. Let's say.
1 in the morning before the sun comes up.
Well, it's right. Ma'ala Aleim Hakasav Kilo Ma'iskim Ba'Avodah. It's as if they're doing the service in the temple. La'olam Zeis Al Yisrael. But now we quote another pasuk from Divrei Hayamim. It says this was forever on the Jewish people. It's like everlasting, and it's referring to the service. Amar Rab Gidl Amar Rav. Rav Gidl says in the name of Rab Zem Mizbeach Banoi. This is a built altar. Michal Sara Gadol Oimed Makar V'Lav Karban. Michal, the angel, the great angel, is standing there and he's offering a sacrifice. Rabbi Yochanan Amar Elu Talmid Chacham Meiskim Behilchas Avodah. Rabbi Yochanan says these are the sages that are dealing with the laws of the Avodah. Ma'ala Aleim Akasav Kilu Nivna Mikdash B'Meim. The verse considers it as if the temple was built in their times. Amr Reish Lakish Maidik Siv. Reish Lakish says, what is the meaning of the verse? This is the laws of the burnt offering, the mincha, the sin offering, and the guilt offering. Anyone that toils in Torah, it's as if he brings all of these sacrifices. Why does it say an oila to mincha? It says an oila and a mincha. It should have said mi vayile. Elamarava Rabbi says that it's different. Kolaisik b'Torah, anyone that toils in Torah, ain't tzarich loy oila v'leichatas v'lei mincha v'lei yasham. He doesn't need to have a sacrifice. In other words, the Torah is in place of these sacrifices, and it's le'oila is like in place of. What does it mean that this is the law of the chatas? This is the law of the asham. What it means to say is anyone that toils in the laws of the chatas, kilu hikr chatas. It's as if he offered the chatas. This is actually quoted in Shulchan Aruch that if someone does a sin that would require him to bring a chatas, he goes to the Torah, to the Chumash. He opens up, he reads the section of the chatas, and that's in place of the chatas. Chalaisik b'teres asham. Anyone that's guilty of a asham, anyone that toils in those laws, so ki'ilu hikr v'asham, it's as if he brought a asham. I want to stop here, and we'll conclude this by the siyam. Right after davening, we have a breakfast for us. And we'll conclude this. Yeah, today's the siyam. Yeah, tomorrow we start a new masechta. If you have a chulin at home, or if you don't.